wonders who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing. This is World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to World of Wonders Wow Report on Radio Andy. What do? We count down the top 10 things from the past week that made us go wow. I'm co-founder of World of Wonder, Fenton Bailey, joined by Tom Campbell, our creative director and inspiration.
Oh, thank you. Hello. We're on the radio, in a microphone.
And also James St. James, who needs no introduction.
And who has never been an inspiration to anybody or anything.
Oh, you are
Gadfly.
Thank you. With your very own show transformations, I should point out, on our streaming service, Wow Presents Plus.
Well, that's very nice of you to mention.
Oh, yeah. How many episodes now? It's like, it's a classic.
Thousands.
It's a hoary old classic. A fabulous transformation. It's great. It's really good.
It was the very first show to be on Wow Presents.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And, of course, Blake is here with us.
Hi.
The George Burns, Gracie Allen.
Lillian Gish and her sister Dorothy.
and then James Show.
Yeah.
Good time. Classics.
So, let's count down these top 10 things, starting at number 10. Tom.
Number 10.
All right, I brought props, which is great for radio.
Yeah.
But you can watch this on the YouTube.
Yeah.
And we're right next to the Wow Presents store.
Yeah.
Which sells all this merchandise from DragCon. And I thought we could do, this probably messes up the sound. This is like, you remember on Get Smart when they had the cone of silence?
No.
You don't?
I never liked to Get Smart.
Did you ever watch Get Smart?
I didn't, but I'm loving the umbrella prop. It's
Okay.
good.
But here's the thing about the shade umbrella. Can I just mention what my problem with the shade umbrella is?
I want to get it in the yeah.
It's a clear umbrella and it doesn't provide any shade whatsoever.
That's the point.
That's the joke?
Yes,
it's a joke?
James.
I missed it.
I'm going to throw some shade this episode.
I totally went over my head.
All right. Well, now I've been gone. I haven't been seeing you guys as much as usual. And I had a great topic in a movie I saw that I went all wow about. And then I realized you guys already talked about it.
What was
it? But I want to bring it up again because I think it's a movie that deserves to be replugged.
I think we should just do the same things over and over.
I'll tell you something.
It works for Trump.
Because I was going to do a topic that the Black Mirror episode that I watched, the first one and the Hannah Montana one.
Yes.
And I did want to do like a follow-up episode with you because it's absolutely blew my mind and I really wanted to talk about it. So I don't mind doing stories.
I also
again.
think they run our show like once on Radio Andy, so we're catching people that we're homesick that day.
And stay tuned for my second review of Chernobyl.
and very rarely do people tune in more than once.
Yes, that's true. Hello for all of you listening for the first time.
The first and last
I want to
time.
talk about the movie Booksmart. You've seen it?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen it?
I haven't.
I saw it and I loved it. It was my favorite movie I've seen in like over a year.
Now here's my thing, because I'm just I don't know, I'm busy and I'm tired, I'm grumpy, and I don't want to see any movies. They all seem like they're all just rip-offs and whatever. And then people are like, this is because it didn't do great box office the first weekend, and people are like, people need to see more movies like this and less movies like that. Which once something's good for you, it gets a little annoying.
Against, like the Avengers, or something?
Ridiculous.
There was no way.
You need to watch more movies like this. Well, I went finally. I don't know. I was just friends were going. I went. And let me see if this would help sell it to you. It's the woke feminist version of Porky's.
I'm there.
That's exactly what it is, right? It sort of is. It's sort of Fast Time at
totally.
Ridgemont. It has every trope. It's an independent film. It is directed by Olivia Wilde.
Yeah.
And it has every trope of a teen. It's like it's the last day of school, and these two nerdy girls are going to get drunk and have fun if it kills them. And, so much happens in the day. It doesn't really make sense, but it's so fantastic. And there's sex, and there's drugs, and there's booze, and there's mishaps, but it's all from a woke feminist point of view. And Noah Galvin is in it.
I love
him.
Noah Galvin.
Beanie Feldstein plays the lead character along with Caitlin Dever, and they're amazing. Jessica Williams, from Two Broke.
Two Broke Girls?
No, from she used to be on Saturday night on the Daily Show, and now she's on HBO. Two Dope Queens.
Oh, Tubo, yeah.
She plays the cool teacher who goes too far. It's just like great. Lisa Kudrow, Will Forte, Jason Sudeikis, they all make appearances as parents, so it's small and funny. And Billie Lourd's in it, and I'm becoming fully obsessed with Billie Lourd.
Really?
Because on some level, she seems to give so little on the screen. You know, have you seen her in the?
But she just cuts through it. That's
Yes.
what Carrie Fisher Harmon did.
It's true,
right?
And she's always got her typecast as these crazy. She's this girl who keeps popping up. She has a great character because, like, she'll bring them to a boat and give them edibles, and then she'll jump off the boat, and you think she's dead, and then they go to the next party, and it's like, hey guys, and like,
She's one of the 1%ers.
yes, how are you here? How are you dry? You know, she's like, hello, and she's just, it goes about to places. She's hilarious. Noah Galvin plays a really gay character who's like the head of the drama company, and he has anyway. It's up all night kind of thing too. They go from party to party, trying to have that pivotal moment of high school. It's after being total nerds for their entire high school career. They both get into like Yale and all this kind of stuff. But
my question is, do you think the movie has the right title? Do you think the title is helping it?
It's not helping. I think it should be called Porky's 5. No, but you remember those? I just remember going to the drive-in as a kid in high school and seeing all this. Fast Time Ridgemont High. Yeah, Booksmart. It's right, but it should have had a raucous.
Yeah, because it does sound
hot, wet summer kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Oh, well, that's Booksmart, and it's still in theaters, so it must be doing something right.
You should really. It's the kind of movie you should really be.
Can you also get it on streaming? Is there?
As soon as I figure out how to use my streaming, yes. I think it's still in the theaters. I'm not sure where else.
Yeah,
you
I
can
think
see
it's
it.
still in just a few theaters.
Because sometimes they have those, like on Vudu, you get something that's in theaters and on streaming.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I do think isn't like there's a bunch of executive producers that are. It's like.
Name one.
If I had more awakeness, I would. Keep going. I'll
right.
interrupt your story to tell you which.
I did just want to tell you about Black Mirror, and that you talked about that first episode where it was the two African Americans and they're playing the game. They're gamer boys and they're in love and everything. It really it haunted me, and it really spoke to me, and I cried and I was invested. And it's so hard for me to watch Black Mirror because they're so well written, they're so beautifully done, but they take so much emotion out of you.
I get it.
And they're so difficult to watch sometimes that I avoid them. But this one was really something. And I thought it was cheating at the end. I thought that it was a cop-out, the twist at the end. They always have to have their little twist. But it is. It's an amazing show.
So this is Black Mirror season 2. No,
season 5,
yeah.
isn't it?
I love you so much right now for reaching back out to me. I never saw that episode. I never talked
What?
about it.
I thought we talked about it.
Probably with somebody. One of my cheap fill-ins.
Wait, was it you?
Uh-uh.
I thought we talked in a Hannah
Was
Montana.
it Jasper?
The Miley Cyrus episode. Haven't we talked about this on the show?
Maybe
Maybe with
but probably
Jasper.
and Ed.
Jasper and Ed?
Yeah,
You got me
yes,
confused with
before.
Jasper and Edward. I get it.
I did.
I
Shortly
get it.
before.
You do. You
Young,
look a lot like
beautiful
Jasper.
bucks.
I always
Yes, they
say you could be twins.
Especially from behind.
James, what do you have for us at number 9?
Number 9.
I am obsessed with this new ABC show, Grand Hotel.
Grand Hotel.
It is not a remake of the 1932 John Barrymore and Greta Garbo movie.
This is an Eva Longoria production.
It's an
Is
Eva
that correct?
Longoria production.
I've seen the posters. That's all.
Yeah. It is a remake of a Spanish telenovela
Called Hotel Grande.
No, actually, it was called El Hotel de los Secretatos.
Oh, Hotel Full of Secrets.
Hotel Full of Secrets. There was also a Mexican version of it as well. But this is it's produced by Eva Longoria. You wish Ava was in it. You wish she was.
I wish she was here.
She's she would really. They need a big superstar. Their big superstar is Damian Bashir, who is a Mexican star, telenovela star, I believe.
Eva's too busy doing I can't believe it's not butter commercials.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That was
Ava lost another listener right there.
He's a fan. He follows
we
all
lost
her
the
work.
Ava Longoria fan club.
But I love I can't believe it's not butter. It's my favorite margarine.
The other big star in it is Brian Craig, who was Morgan on General Hospital, and he plays it's all this family-run hotel in South Beach, and it is shot at the Fontainebleau, which I mean is just one of the most amazing hotels on the
Yes,
planet.
it
Had
is.
the Poodle Lounge.
Yes, and it has a pool that is one of the greatest pools in the world. It's just absolutely beautiful.
That's hot.
Brian Craig plays. He has he's an amputee. He's lost his leg, and he says he lost it in Afghanistan, but he just uses that to make girls feel sorry for him. So he's just a serial. He just sleeps with everybody in the hotel.
It's just a secret.
Yeah. Well, everybody
Spoiler
has
alert.
their secrets.
Of course.
It's this family, and they're all beautiful, and they all everybody is dressed in Versace-esque little outfits, and they're all thin and gorgeous, and they all drive really fabulous cars, and it's just South Beach porn.
Is it a little Miami Vice-y? I mean, and could this be a hit?
Well, that's just it. It starts off with a murder. It's a hurricane, and one of the workers wanders out into the hurricane, and she's bonked over the head and dragged into the bushes, and we never see her again, and we don't know. And then it's sort of, you forget about that, and then at the very end, you realize that one of the bus boys is actually her sister, and he's trying to figure out who the murderer is. And so that sort of sets it up for the rest of the season. But basically, it's just pure soap opera with everybody sleeping with everybody, and everybody bitching, and there's an evil stepmother, and everybody's slapping everybody, and everybody's, in fabulous outfits. And it's really just, it's on Monday nights, and how Monday nights are. Mondays are hard, and you just go home and you sink into this Spanish telenovela soap opera.
That's kind of good.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll talk Eva into coming on it, like season 2 or something. Like a Heather Locklear,
exactly,
or Joan Collins.
We need that kind of drama, conflama, right?
Constantly.
Yeah, because this is just South Beach Dynasty is what it is.
It's fun. Good for them.
All right, that's Grand Hotel Mondays, 10 p.m. on ABC. 10 p.m., kind of late.
Yeah, it is. I couldn't stay up for it last night.
Number 8.
Number 8.
I read an article. Have you heard about this? Well, first of all, do you know what skull morphology is?
Well, I know exactly where you're going with this.
Does it have to do with your head?
Enthesophytes.
Yeah, sure. The old Thesophytes, sure.
People are cut to the chase. The headline is, people are growing horns from using their phones in their skulls. Now,
they're using their phones in their skulls? Or you're
no,
growing horns in the
because
skull?
we're using our phones so much, and because we have what is known as aberrant posture in the medical profession, we are growing horns literally not out of the tops of our skull, but in the backs of our heads. And in fact, if you can see me now, James.
If you can see me
Wow.
now, that little horny man.
Oh, it's not so low.
Sorry.
You can probably feel your horns by putting your hand around the back of your head and just feeling at the base of the skull. And
I feel mine.
I feel my horns. I feel my horns.
The lower rear of the skull, and those who have the horn-like feature can probably feel it. Okay, so...
But wait a minute. This was in
yeah.
the Washington Post.
Yes.
This is not National Enquirer. This is
No.
actual. It is the fake news Washington Post, as Donald Trump says.
Right. It's researchers at the University of the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. Now, this is where the story does
Not
get
Harvard.
a little complicated, because David Shahar, who is a chiropractor, is one of the authors or researchers or spokespeople for these horns that are growing in the back of your head. And But
wait a minute.
He, however, is a little compromised because he is, let's see, what's it say? I had it just here. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's the owner of Dr. Posture, an online store recommending strategies to improve
I'm already
posture,
not trusting this guy.
including the use of his patented thoracic pillow. I don't know what a thoracic pillow, and I didn't have time to look it up.
What is the connection to the cell phones again? I'm not getting it.
Okay, so you're bent over, basically, hunched over your phone.
Is it a posture thing? Or
And
is it
because
cell
of the
phone?
weight of because your head is leaning forward, the skull needs to grow so that in order to defray the load of the head. The head weighs about 10 pounds, about the size of a small, medium watermelon, and that these horns are intended to defray the added stress of holding your head, not in perfect balance, in perfect posture, but crooked at this angle. It's related to this other thing of thumb text. Texting thumb. Phone bones. That's what they call them, phone bones.
But it sounds to me as if the three of us don't have to worry about this because our bones have already been formed. And
we're also a little hunched already.
But it sounds like this is like formative
disappointment.
But formative young bones that are like malleable and pliable still.
Absolutely, James. This is people ages 18 to 30. So we don't have to worry
You got
about
yours from a reliable source. I saw the same story on the Daily Star.
Wow.
And they showed that
I barely missed it.
They said that this is how we're going to look in the future. We're going to be hunched.
Yeah.
We're going to have double eyelids. Is that right?
Yes, and they've also noticed in Germany that German youths are having narrower elbows, and they can't quite figure out why. And the other thing, this is actually
wait, no, you can't stop there. You can't stop there. Why?
Not with the German youth skinny elbows.
I know.
That should have been the headline.
Bury the lead.
They think, James, it may be something to do with a generation of malnutrition Germans as a result of World War II, and the fact that youth of today are increasingly couch potatoes and use their muscles
today are not.
less.
If it was,
and the more you use your muscles, the more your bones will grow. That's an interesting.
but you can't be malnutrition from World War II. That was
The
70
parents
years ago.
got smaller and the kids got smaller. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So the other there is then the BBC picked this up, and they say that our skeletons are changing with a lot of technology.
They should.
This is really interesting. Our mouths, not James accepted, our mouths are getting smaller. We have shrinking mouth syndrome.
I feel attacked.
No, and this is
I want to go back to this double eyebrows. Double eyelids. What's happening there?
I will just finish up with the mouth, and then we can go back to the eyebrows. The thing about the mouth is, listen, this is really interesting. A Neolithic jaw. Try, if you want to have a Neolithic jaw, go,
Well, that's like a Habsburg jaw, darling.
thrust it forward.
That is kind of the jaw you already
and
have,
now,
isn't it, James?
try and say F, like,
F.
Yes, exactly.
F.
Fish.
Fish.
Or Venice.
Venice.
Right, exactly. And because of the shrinking jaw over many hundreds of years, we're now able to say many more sophisticated words and sounds. Language has exploded.
Like Fendi or
Yes, whereas-
Bonnie's New York.
Neolithic man would have had tremendous problems. James St. James, you might not be a writer if you had a Neolithic jaw. Yeah, because you wouldn't have the words to use and wield. And I suppose this is why Trump is doing so well, because he has no need for complicated words, and they're very...
Well, now
basic.
that's a stretch. I want to go back to the
all right.
eyebrow.
And the inner eyelid, it's sort of like cats. Humans are developing a larger inner eyelid to prevent exposure to excessive light or the lens of the eye due to all the time we spent in front of blue lights and screens and things of that nature.
Damn.
Okay.
See, now that's interesting.
That's news you can use. Oh, come on.
Well, we've posted a link to the article from the Washington Post on the Wow Report at worldofwonder.net/Radio Andy. Hey, I have to tell you, by the way, $1 Million Listings New York, returning for the 8th season
Goodness.
on August 1st at 9 p.m. on Bravo. Make sure to tune in. Are you sure that's right?
It seems like it's 12th or something, doesn't it?
What?
I think he's right.
August 1st.
All right. Well,
James's birthday.
Okay. $1 Million Listings New York, 8th season, August 1st. Hey, question. We're going to take a break. We've got a question. Blake.
We were talking about genealogy and everything. So Eva Longoria learned she was related to this modern-day classical musician while on the genealogy show Faces of America with Henry Louis Gates Jr. Who was the musician?
We're going to think after the commercial.
Yes, I know.
You got me hooked. I'm not going anywhere.
Wait. Hold on. Before we come back.
We haven't gone away yet.
Let James think while we take a break.
We could do some ASMRing.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back after the break. You're listening to the Wow Report on Radio Andy.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report.
Welcome back to the Wow Report on Radio Andy, our countdown of the top 10 things that make us go
Wow. This week.
I'm Fenton Bailey, co-founder of World of Wonder, joined by James St. James, Tom Campbell, and our millennial producer, Blake Jacobs.
Yes.
And you asked us a question before the break.
I did. We were talking about jaws and genealogy and how people like form over years or whatever.
Oh, nice tie-in.
Yeah. Eva Longoria, who we were also talking about earlier, learned she was related to this modern-day classical musician while on the genealogy show Faces of America with Henry Louis Gates Jr.
James, your hand's up. Go ahead. You go first.
I'm going to say Pablo Casals.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm going to say, because it doesn't make sense, Yo-Yo Ma, because this is fun to say, Yo-Yo Ma.
All right, Beethoven.
Tom, you're correct. She's related to Yo-Yo Ma.
Really?
Oh, like, where's the prize? Oh, there is none.
That was very good.
Thank you.
We're counting down. We've reached number 7. Tom.
Number 7.
Award shows in these desperate times of political, distress and constant scandal, the idea that there's too much television to watch, I do like to get in a certain handful of my award shows. And the BET Awards were on. Did you see them?
I saw Lizzo.
I've seen a number. I saw Lizzo. I saw the tribute to Nipsey Hussle.
Yes. I just want to do some highlights. Just want to talk about it because I feel it's the community thing. And the number one thing you mentioned is Lizzo. And I think with this song, which is 100% That Bitch, it's her biggest song yet.
Yeah. Truth Hurts.
Well, that's the ballad one. 100% That Bitch is different. Right?
Oh, okay.
I think. Maybe
No,
wrong.
it is.
Okay,
you're
good.
completely right. Yeah.
Yeah, because Truth Hurts is like a power like ballad and stuff, right?
Now, but here's my big
Google
question.
for me. Help me, because I'm an old person who doesn't learn titles of songs anymore.
No, but here's my question because Lizzo, I hear, stole the show and was a standing ovation. People went absolutely bananas. But did she manage to steal it out from Mary J. Blige?
Mary J. Blige was my other thing.
Okay.
Now, the only thing I kind of got off about Mary
Because
J.
it
Blige
seems like
is...
it's a passing of the torch here, where like
Yes.
it's the new queen of
Yes,
R&B.
but I would say, with love and respect to both of them, they're different kinds of artists. Because Mary J. Blige is just that classic soul singer. And did you happen to notice at the beginning that it felt like there was a cue missed?
With Lizzo?
No, with Mary J. Blige.
Oh, I didn't see the Mary J. Blige.
Oh, we'll have to watch because
Okay.
it's not quite the Patti LaBelle Where Are My Backup Singers. It's not quite that bad, but there's this whole thing where they flip over. It's a white set, and they've introduced her and fog machines going, and it's like, wow, we're watching these musicians jam for quite a period of time here. And then she comes on, and she's kind of She has like hot pants and a sort of a jacket over it. She's hiking up those hot pants. She starts to sing. She tests that left ear thing, tests that right ear thing, and she gets over it in glasses, but there's a moment where it's a little bit like she's holding a grudge. Something happened backstage, and she's not okay with it. That was my highlight. What are you gonna say?
Oh, I just have their song.
And then what's it called?
Truth Hurts.
Which has the lyric, "I'm 100% that bitch." It's called "Truth Hurts," and I'm so embarrassed.
But
If
what
this
is it?
weren't
What
an
is,
almost live show, I would insist we do the segment again.
No. I'm still loving that original Lizzo hit from earlier in the summer. Or
Juice.
Juice, yes.
I heard it on the radio just the other day again, and it's just the sound of happiness coming out of your speakers. It's something so.
well, I liked the one that, with the real soulful one, the real sort of.
Because I love you.
Is that what it is? Oh, that's a beautiful one.
But it's very big and epic.
With the black and white video.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God.
You
that's the
did
one.
not see the BET Awards, am I
I did
correct?
not, no.
Well, because I think, and not that the torch was tossed, that's weird, but Madonna made her splash on the MTV Video Awards thousands of years ago, rolling around in a wedding dress, singing like a virgin. Well, Miss Lizzo had a set built for her that looks like a pride parade of a tiered wedding cake. And all the dancers were on each tier, and she was at the top.
Well, that's very Busby Berkeley.
Yes, exactly. But everything Lizzo does feels homemade in the best way.
Yeah.
She sings live.
Yes.
And so it's not perfect airbrush sound, but she's got soul. She
Yes.
dances live and she sings, and the dance is not perfect. It's not like precision dancing. It is, I feel good dancing.
Feel good. The energy just comes
The energy
through.
and the love.
Yeah.
And at one point, so she has her back and she's a thing, and then she whips off her veil and she's got big sunglasses attached to them. She's just the best.
Yeah.
She made me so happy. And Rihanna was like it felt like her moment of being ordained by that
And
community. by
Rihanna
the
is normally
superstars.
like stony faced, right?
No, she liked it. She didn't know the words, but she was getting off on it.
What is interesting, that Lizzo just people have like a real primal reaction to her, and that there's something very elemental about her,
Right.
And that everybody
Yes.
loves Lizzo.
You can't- she's irresistible.
Yeah, she really
She
is.
whips out her flute mid-song and jams with that. Like, and she twerked. She twerked. You're like, oh, she's twerking, but she twerked just to hide the fact that she was being handled a flute. And I'm like, brrr. So there is something you could, element by element. She's good. She's good. She's good. She's good. You put those elements together, and Lizzo is
Magic.
the greatest
She's
artist of
Lizzo
the
magic.
moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
And you thought that she was sort of maybe like just this year's Cardi B, but she's more.
No,
She's
No, and
More.
we've known about her, and we've worked with her, and we've loved her music. She's been on Drag Race for years.
And
She's
get
here
her-
to slay, and she is here to stay.
Yeah,
And she has the talent to back it up.
And
to
get
make
her new
personality up.
album. Get her new album, Cause I Love You. It's awesome.
Because I
every
Love You.
track.
Because I love you. That's the title track, right? It's
Yes.
Awesome. Number 6, James.
Number 6.
Well, I'm going to bring us all back down again because, Tom, this one's especially for you. This is very hard. I know we are of a certain age now where this affects us. R.I.P. Judith Krantz, who is, the international queen of poolside reading, is what the New York Times called her.
That's a wonderful title.
They also said that she invented the sex and shopping genre of fiction.
Sex and
Entirely
shopping.
Well, they go-
true.
no, they go
Shirley
on to say-
Conran, hello.
Well, they go on to say that Jacqueline
Lace.
Suzanne started it, but that she
Yes.
really Jacqueline Suzanne started the formula, but Judith did it with opulent profusion, is what they said.
They win with opulent profusion. They
said her heroines were invariably rich, thin, savvy, ambitious, and preternaturally beautiful. Their lives were rife with sacred objects, offering readers a tour of high-end culture. What? You're already ready to dispute it?
No, I would not dispute it. I wanted to lend a ringing endorsement. One of my favorite books of all time is I'll Take Manhattan.
It is a good one.
Where the incredibly ambitious, preternaturally beautiful Maxie Amberville takes over the small-time publication Buttons and Bows and turns it into the glitziest, ritziest, most successful fashion magazine in the country. It's like, oh my God, it's such a ride.
Yes, the sex in her books is like it's always like bodice ripping, but it's very like they ripped off her $20,000 Chanel necklace and the Celine Beau and the Dior and she tossed her slingback mules. And
does insurance cover stuff like that?
Interestingly, she didn't write her first novel till she was 50 years old.
I love to hear that stuff.
That's hope for all of us.
She had been working at McCall's Ladies' Home Journal and Cosmopolitan. She wrote she wrote The Myth of the Multiple Orgasm in 1969, and that was sort of a game changer for her.
50 years ago.
Yeah, and then she said that a lot of her stories that she pitched to Helen Gurley Brown, Helen said that's too scandalous for Cosmo, and so she just filed them away.
She saw a white space.
She filed them away and used them in her books later on.
I just have to say, as someone who didn't read, I don't think, any of her books, I was familiar with all of her material.
Wait, you didn't read Scruples?
I did not, but I saw all the TV movies. And that's the other confluence. It's like the TV movie was king when Judith Krantz was writing her things.
Conveniently, her husband was a TV movie producer.
And her son, and Tony Krantz, was a CIA agent. I don't know if he's still there. But I just want to say, I just Googled Judith Krantz, I'll Take Manhattan, because you said that, and Valerie Bertinelli's face.
Yes,
and so it's Valerie Bertinelli, Barry Bostwick. Like, is that a TV movie? Perry King, Jack Scalia, and Jane Kasmerick. I mean, those were the days, my friend.
So good.
I
mean, in a way, I'm sorry. I just think I'll Take Manhattan is the real Bonfire Vanities. I think it's better than Bonfire Vanities, which is held up as the quintessential novel of 80s glam and glitz and materialistic.
So you're saying
Manhattan.
if there's one Judith Krantz book to read, it would be
I'll
Take Manhattan.
I've got to
and you're saying...
I'm saying it's either Scruples or Princess Daisy. I remember Scruples. I was in 8th grade, and we would bring it to class and have all the highlighted sex parts, and we would pass it around, and that's how I learned about sex. And then Lindsay Wagner, of course, was in Scruples. In Princess Daisy, that was Rupert Everett's first role, and he played the dastardly stepbrother who raped Princess Daisy. Yes.
Is that why whenever people hook up with you, they say you're wearing big chandelier earrings and shoulder pads? Is that because it's because of
Daisy look.
It's where you learned. It's where you learned.
Yes. Another interesting thing about her childhood, she grew up very rich. She was at an apartment on Central Park West. Her house was filled with Renoirs and Degas, and she went to a very chic private school called the Birchwarthen School on the Upper West Side. Yes. But her mother did not want her to be a snob, and so she dressed her in very unfashionable clothes. And she was the most unpopular girl at school, and she was picked on because her clothes were so unfashionable. And she said she never had romantic fantasies growing up. She had clothes fantasies, and I think that was the sort of the impetus. Yes.
Did you ever meet her, James?
No, I don't think so.
She didn't sort of put herself out and about much, did she?
She started at 50. She was tired.
But I think she did. She was probably like Jackie Collins, like a Beverly Hills.
Had her circle of friends. She's very society.
Because your real love is East Coast matrons, right?
Yes.
And Judith is a bit wrong side of the tracks.
May she rest in perfection. She was quite a classy lady, I think.
But she was.
Did she end up in San Francisco? Am I wrong about that?
She didn't get much respect, I don't think.
No, she didn't. Well, that was just another thing, too, that she never got respect. People sort of suspected that maybe she was faking it, that she was a quasi-intellectual, and she was sort of slumming writing these things. She said, no, that's not true. That's just who she was. And she laughed all the way to the bank because she made billions of dollars doing it. There was I had made a list of all the movies or all the books she wrote. but I can't find it now. But anyway,
it's my dream to
You're
write
luckily
it.
Blake is
she
doing
only
a big
she
sex
wrote
and shopping
she
novel.
only wrote from
Really?
79
I'd love
to
to.
99, and then she stopped. She only wrote like 10 novels.
Your dream
Is
Fenton?
to write a sex and shopping novel. I had the title.
Such a good idea.
I had
You-
the title.
You've had enough
Do
of
you know what the
both.
title is? You want to know the title?
Yes.
I'll give you the title. Money, Success, Fame, Glamour.
Yes!
I mean, that's a book, right? But the only problem is the middle bit. Like, what do you...
Blake will help you. You guys, he'll be your ghostwriter.
Okay, we've got
Well,
to move
no,
on.
I'll come
Can
shopping
you?
with me.
Oh, okay,
You'll
yes.
go
Oh,
come shopping
my
with
God,
me,
my-
and I will help you do it.
I love it. James St. James, heiress on Park Avenue.
So many good ideas born right here. on
Well,
the
here's
Wild
another
Reports.
one. Number 5.
Number 5.
I think this is going to be a multi-part Netflix series. Have you read about the meth-up attack squirrel?
Rewind. What is it?
The meth-up attack squirrel.
Okay, that's what I thought you
so Live PD, that TV show on A&E, did a wanted thing about Mickey Polk, who is wanted by the Limestone County Sheriff's Office because they want to talk to him about drug charges and keeping an attack squirrel. So here's what happened. The police were tipped off. They went to this apartment, lots of drug paraphernalia. They took it, and they also saw there a squirrel in a cage. Did you know? I did not. It is illegal to keep a squirrel in captivity.
They're a wild creature.
So they took this squirrel, which allegedly was high on meth and was allegedly being fed the meth to keep him aggressive, and they let the squirrel go into the woods.
Yes, but that's just it. Like the poor squirrel is
I know,
But after 2 days of sleep, he'll be all right.
This poor squirrel fell out of a branch when he was 10 days old. Little baby squirrel fell out, and there's photos on Facebook because, what's his name? Mickey Polk has Facebook. He's on Facebook, and he went live because here's what happened. I'm messing up the story, but here's what happened. He came back to the apartment. Squirrel was gone, heard the police were looking for him, grabbed the cage, fled. Just so happened the squirrel was up a tree, and Squirrel came, he got the squirrel back, and he's now in hiding. And then from his
With the squirrel?
With the squirrel, and from his lair in hiding, he went live on Facebook, and he said, yes, he's an asshole and a mean motherfucker. He's talking about D's nuts. That was what he named his squirrel. But he said he never fed the squirrel crystal meth.
Thank you.
Would
It
never
just,
do
he just
such
happened
a
to
thing.
find it on
know.
himself. He had his own dealer.
So it's a love
squirrel
story
had his
between a
own-
man and
It's
a
a
squirrel.
really sweet story. Now, Mickey does have quite
No,
a
this
long
isn't- no,
rap
no,
list. He's
no,
been booked
no.
into jail 28 times for robbery, burglary, theft, receiving stolen property, domestic violence,
You don't
reckless
know him.
endangerment,
You
and
don't
drug
know him.
charges.
You don't know him.
But he says the squirrel is his friend. He found the squirrel
But then
fell
why
out of
is
a
the squirrel on
tree,
meth?
and every 2
That
hours
was an allegation.
he would wake up and feed the squirrel milk and make sure the heating pad was hot.
And there was probably some meth in the milk, as it happens.
Well,
It fell out of his nose.
he's trained. I mean, this is really touching to me. He trained the squirrel to use a litter box, sleep in a hammock, and eat potato chips and caramel M&Ms.
I'm very, very weepy lately, and this is making me sad in a weird
When
way.
the animal started having seizures, that's
Don't get it
D's
on the
nuts,
chair.
took him to the vet over in Tennessee, and he has a calcium deficiency, so Polk cut back on the nuts and seeds and added more squash and avocados. Does this sound like a squirrel that's being fed crystal
I
meth?
don't know. Squirrels don't like squash.
Supposed to eat anything. I think on the way out to commercial, we have to play the song "Ben," which was about that movie about the boy who
that's a
falls
good
in love with
idea.
the rat.
Or the squirrel nut zippers.
But we can change it. These nuts, the world doesn't understand. These nuts,
I love that. That's a good way
eating
out.
squash.
As
lots.
of this moment,
Yes.
he's still on the run.
Oh, really?
Yes, no. Mickey Polk and D's Nuts are still at large, and so if you see them or hear about them, you could call the Limestone County Sheriff's Office.
Mickey does have a Sirius XM subscription, and if he's listening to this show, bring the squirrel by, World of Wonder, D's Nuts, and we will take care of my promise.
And if you see a squirrel grabbing its crotch and sniffing in an alleyway,
call James. Hey, squirrel friend. Uh-oh. There's a squirrel
I
prop.
brought a squirrel friend for us all.
Oh, we brought a lot of merchandise, didn't we? Look, it's in the World of Wonder Nuts to Soup can, and it's a little crown.
Little tiny squirrel friend.
For D's Nuts.
A little, we have this for either one of you if you show up here at World of Wonder free one.
I have a trivia question for you guys.
I hope it has something to do with these nuts.
Well, what do you call a group of squirrels?
Ooh. You're listening to Wow Report on Radio Andy. We'll be right back.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report.
welcome back to the Wow Report. I'm Fenton here with James St. James, Tom, Blake. We were talking about Dee's Nuts, the methed up attack squirrel.
Who's in the news?
On the run, in the news, on the run at large.
Right. And I asked, what do you call a group of squirrels?
A frenzy of squirrels.
I love the groups of animal names.
I do.
I don't have them memorized, but I love them. I'm always surprised by them. I'm going to go with the two words that came into my mind, and they're two different guesses. One is a chase of squirrels.
Okay.
Don't know why. Or a symphony. There, I said it.
Okay.
A scrum of squirrels.
Okay,
Scrum's fun.
Right.
They're called either a scurry of squirrels
Oh, that works.
or a dray, D-R-A-Y.
Dreidel, dreidel, dray.
I like both those words.
I think it might be a symphony of butterflies. I don't know. I love it all. I love it all.
A murder of
All right.
crows.
We're
Yes.
back. What are we doing? We're counting down top 10 things that made us go, wow. And we've reached number 4. Tom.
Number 4.
I don't know how long we're talking about this, but it made me go wow, and I want to discuss it. It was announced this week that Andrew Dice Clay and Roseanne Barr are going to go out on a comedy tour together. What are they calling it again?
Mr. and Miss America.
Ugh, America.
Wait a minute. Before you go on,
They're calling it Mr. and Mr. America, I think.
Oh, you're calling it America.
Yeah,
Okay.
ugh.
I do just want to say that it seems to be in the air because Louis C.K. just did a show the other day and got a standing ovation, and people went absolutely bananas.
And
So
that
I
was
think,
in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, and I think people are ready to forgive everybody their awfulness in this
Well,
Trumpian
that's kind
area.
of the question.
Yeah.
Is it awful? You know, we loved Roseanne. She messed up. She might be mentally ill. Does that keep her from going out and doing her comedy? Probably not.
There'll still be people that'll go.
But is it okay? I mean, do we have to
No,
hate
I-
everybody really deeply? Or?
We do. We do. And when people screw up, they have to do some penance. They have to.
Okay.
They
She
have
has
to pay for it. You
But
can't be a terrible person and get away with it. Which is everything Trump is telling us that it's so that we allow Sarah Sanders, we allow Mnuchin, we allow his wife, we allow all these people to have comebacks. Did you see his wife is just on the cover of Los Angeles magazine? Did you see that?
Mnuchin's wife?
Yeah, they gave her this glow up, this puff piece about how it hurts to be hated so much, and she goes shopping in Beverly Hills. It's just no. I believe it's time to cancel awful people.
I love that. Cancel awful people.
I like your point of view. Andrew Dice Clay is a funny one to me because I worked with him 1,000 years ago, and I was a little assistant and helped with his publicity when he was first coming out. He was getting showcased, and it was at the height of his homophobism, at the height of AIDS, and he wasn't that guy. It was an act he had created.
Yeah, and I was going to say, because I think it's unfortunate that Roseanne is with him, because I think Andrew Dice Clay has served his penance, and I do think that he showed himself in Blue. What was the?
He was in He was in Blue
Velvet, Blue.
No, the
Blue
say
Valentine.
Blue
No.
Ivy, I want to say, but it's
No,
not.
the Woody Allen
movie with Kate Blanchett, and he was also in A Star Is Born.
Yeah, and he was good in both of them, and I think that he's probably a different person than he was in the 80s. So I think it's
And again,
fun.
he used to do, Andrew Dice Clay in the 80s did some really offensive
Dickety,
gay-
hickety, dickety, dock, the mouse
Some-
went up my cock, or something
No,
like that.
It was
some
more-
chick was sucking my cock.
Oh, some chick was sucking
the
my
clock struck 2. I dropped my goo and dropped her off on the next block or something. I think.
He goes,
Thank you for that.
I don't
Sorry.
believe in
It's-
bisexual. This is Andrew Dice Clay. It's like you either you suck dick or you don't suck dick, and like my ass is an exit only. Like he was all that kind of stuff.
Blue Jasmine.
Blue Jasmine.
There
That's the
we
Woody
go.
Allen movie.
Okay.
With
What do you think the penance is that Rosie should? Roseanne,
Right is the
I mean,
penance, and legally she can do whatever she wants, right?
She can. I do think that she needs to go away from public view for at least 10 years.
Oh, 10 years.
Yeah. And
How about 9?
I think during that time she ought to do some sort of reach out with the groups that she heard.
You are, of course, assuming that she
cares.
accepts that she did something wrong,
And
that
she
her
doesn't.
ego and mental state isn't in a full
But
ego-driven
it's not up to
defensive
her
mode.
when she wants to come back. It's up to us when we allow her back.
It's up to us to buy tickets as a personal choice, but she can come back.
Well, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
A free country, free speech.
She can stick around Hollywood and Vine and tap dance, until the cows come home and say, "Look at me, look at me, look at me." But we don't have to give her our attention.
Which I guess I did today on the show. I'm very sorry.
Yes, you did.
But I think it's interesting. I'm a sucker. and
Let's-
this is why
what
I'm
I'm getting
This
is-
is why I'm a lousy liberal, because I want to forgive people. I want, I can only say mad so long.
But-
I think what she says is gross, but I also think people know what I said this
don't
before. When it
you
happened,
agree-
ABC knew what they were getting in bed with, and they still got in bed with, and then at some point it was too much.
But don't you see it as a symptom of the Trumpian era that we live in, that everybody is getting a pass?
I do think James is making a good point here in that, yes, the desire to forgive is a good desire and is a good one.
But
I do also think, though, that Trump is encouraging a mentality where people aren't being held accountable for things.
Exactly.
Trump can say, well, she's not my type, so I couldn't have raped her. Like, oh,
Deny
really?
science,
and
deny-
then
yeah.
McConnell's wife can, like, own
And
shares in a
people
road building
don't
company.
show up to freaking. You're being subpoenaed, and you don't have to show up anymore. What is that all about? And I believe that the urge to forgive is nice, but now is not the time to be forgiving people. And in 10 years, we can maybe start to forgive these Trump. Maybe we can forgive Sarah Sanders. Maybe we can forgive Kellyanne Conway. I don't think so.
I'm not.
But
ever.
Tom will, because Tom
won't. Will you forgive Sarah Sanders?
Will you
Tom?
forgive Kellyanne Conway?
I don't know.
When Sarah Sanders
forget Germans?
I think you're a more evolved person than I am, and I am 100% clear I am never going to forgive Sarah Sanders.
But when Sarah Sanders gets a job on The View in 10 years, and she is she replaces
10 months, 10 weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
she's on.
Do you
She's on.
do you watch? Do you not mind her?
I don't. I'm not going to go see Roseanne Barr or Andrew Dice Clay in concert, so I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to support it. But she does have the right to come back, and I don't know. It's this weird guillotine world we live in, where it's like,
I think 10 years ago that would have been okay to say, but I just think the times we live in now, I think we need to be holding people accountable.
All right.
I'm sorry. I didn't
You're not. You're not
get,
putting. It's controversial. I'm hung up about it, which is why.
I'm not attacking you personally. I'm just attacking the world.
Which is nice to know.
I get it.
You're not being a type person.
No.
As I was
James and I
attacked
go way
personally
back.
the other day.
Well, some people deserve it.
Number 3, James. Number 3, James.
Number 3.
Sweet.
Well, I'm gonna bring it back up again. I'm gonna talk about something.
Because I'm going to bring it down right afterwards.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
I don't know if you guys follow Macaulay Culkin. He has a website and he has a podcast called BunnyEars.com.
Okay.
I don't. I think I'm. I don't.
He's absolutely hysterical. He's really got a real loopy sense of humor that is. And he just did a list of Macaulay Culkin ranks his favorite Macaulay Culkin movies. And he talks about how number 10 is My Girl, which he says he hates because he died. Jacob's Ladder was number 9. He says he wasn't even in the credits and he got hit by a car, so that's low down on the
fair.
list. Saved, he said he loved being in Saved because it was the only movie that he was in with people his own age. Because the other movies, he was always like the young kid with, and he was saying that in every other movie, they always had to be over 6 feet tall. So because he was getting older and older, they had to have taller and taller people, like in Richie Rich. Number 7, he liked Uncle Buck because he said John Candy made those giant pancakes for him. He said that was really cute. And then number 6 is Party Monster.
Oh my God!
And he, the
Sorry,
reason why
just
he
number
loves
6.
Party Monster, it's sort of interesting. He says, let's see if I can even read this. I always felt pretty, but that's when I learned I actually was pretty. It taught me to totally understand why women put all the time into getting ready, and it was worth it, and I looked awesome.
It's that sort of
that.
RuPaul adage, which is like, drag doesn't cover you up; it shows you who you are.
It brings you
discovered,
out.
yes.
Yeah. Very quickly,
He just loved toddling around in those ultra-high platforms and buttless onesies, didn't he? He really just seemed happy as Larry.
I saw some pictures. I was going through pictures, and the picture he was really pretty in it. Prettier than Michael Ehrlich ever was. That's for damn sure.
I'm going to pretend I hate the rest of these movies because they're after Party Monster.
Home Alone was number 4.
Never heard of
that. Interesting. He said that it was a lot of pressure on him to do it, and it was hard to do because he had to carry the movie. He was in every single scene.
Yeah.
But afterwards, he was able to go to school and say that he beat Rocky because they beat Rocky number 5. It was Rocky number 5 was out at the same time. Richie Rich, he said John Larroquette hated him. That was sort of hard. Then Home Alone 2 was his favorite one.
With Donald Trump.
Yeah. He says, no, it was his favorite because that's the one that helped me buy a new house, and it's a sweet house.
Okay.
He is He's a treasure.
He really is. And he also did, after that, he did, let me see, Macaulay Culkin ranks his favorite Culkin brothers. And that was really cute, too, because they're all.
It's very clever.
Yeah. So, bunnyears.com.
Okay. Number 2.
Number 2.
I read an article in The Atlantic.
This can't be good.
5 years ago.
You read an article 5 years ago?
Airline
Just
plane.
finished it. It takes 5 years to read
Did
an
I
article.
say
in the New Yorker.
I read it? I didn't say I wrote it, did I?
No.
You said you read it
You said
5
you read
years
it
ago.
It took
Well, it's
5
long.
years.
It is long.
It's
See?
The Atlantic. It's
Listen,
difficult.
5 years ago, plane took off from Kuala Lumpur on its way to Beijing
yeah.
and disappeared.
Yeah.
And
I
they
remember it
never,
like,
ever found it. And I've just personally always been fascinated by plane crashes. It's not a ghoulish thing. There is something so bizarrely creepy and...
They're very
I don't know
mysterious.
they are very mysterious.
Well,
Lost. The way Lost began.
I was going to
plane
say
crash.
that the time-space continuum thing, they fell into the Bermuda Triangle,
Yes.
like where they disappear 5 years later, they come back again.
And of course, needless to say, with this particular crash, there were all sorts of conspiracy theories because I suppose partly with this plane crash, it's also how can a plane in today's day and age with all the Amelia Earhart disappeared?
Right.
You can understand it was in the early days of flight and there weren't phones and all the rest of it.
But there are satellites
disappeared.
everywhere. In
Satellites
picture,
everywhere.
We have every.
And doesn't everybody on that plane had a cell phone?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
In a
where,
black box, like what?
That's why I urge you to read this. It's absolutely fascinating. And then one of
I'm
the
hoping
things,
you explain it well enough I don't have to.
Well, without ruining, not spoiler alert,
Oh.
one of the things that comes to light is, in fact, yes, there are satellites everywhere. And yes, the Malaysian Air Force tracked the plane and didn't reveal what they knew, even as they were searching for the plane in the wrong place.
What was the reason?
But basically, long story short, plane takes off, makes a series of turns, cuts all the satellite communications, depressurizes the plane, ascends to 40,000 feet. That's to kill off all the passengers, so
Right.
no one can get on
Why
their
are they doing
phones.
this?
To create an unmarked plane that can use for terrorist attacks.
That was one thing.
Oh.
Another thing was that there was supposed to be a very highly sensitive piece of technology, and the Americans took the plane out because they couldn't afford for that piece of technology to arrive at its destination. However, not to ruin it, the captain of the plane was a little bit crazy. And even though the Malaysians said he was a perfect sound mind, he was in an unhappy marriage, he wasn't living at home, and in his home he had an incredibly sophisticated flight simulator on which he so happened to have mapped out a suicide route that matches where they think ultimately the plane
And
went.
how many people did he take out with him?
238.
Good
Long
God.
story short, the
Yapping
plane,
people, yapping, farting
instead of going
people.
on to Beijing, killed off
We're
everybody
not
on
as
board,
good as you just said you
took
were.
a turn and set off
Forgive
straight
me.
for Antarctica, and it ran out of fuel and plunged into the sea at high speed, blew into a million smithereens. And that's where I'm really not doing this article justice, because it is fascinating, because an American, and I'm getting the wrap-up sign, I know I must wrap it up, an American guy called Blaine Gibson was an adventurer, an explorer, a truth seeker. He decided that instead of mounting a high-tech operation to find the thing at the bottom of the ocean, he would track ocean currents and look for flotsam and jetsam, and he ended up finding pieces of the plane. I mean, of all the things, it's absolutely fascinating.
It kind of makes sense that there's one crazy guy who, with all of his
An
weirdness...
amateur dilettante
Yes.
who wears an Indiana Jones
I do
hat.
like the idea that it
God, I
fell
don't have
into
to
a
read that
wormhole or
article.
better.
Well, I mean, I must say, not to make you all insecure or anxious if you're scared of flying, but pilots deciding to crash the planes is a bit of a problem.
I do remember that you did Anatomy of a Plane Crash,
Yes.
and it has always stuck with me where you talk about how that 2 minutes where you're falling, and everything has come out of the overhead bins, and it's all hitting everybody in the head, and everybody's bleeding and screaming, and just that chaos of the descent, and those last 5 minutes must seem like 5 years as you're going down, and it's just terrifying.
Not to undermine that, but in this particular case, because he depressurized the plane, the oxygen mask came down, but they would only last for a few minutes, and so and people didn't
Right,
they
he
didn't
sort of-
suffer actually,
yes.
bizarrely.
Well, wait,
That's why you should always say thank you to the pilot as you're walking out. Thank you. Hope everything's okay. Good luck your next flight. Get some sunshine.
We have to take a quick break. Our brand new documentary, Stonewall Out Loud, made in association with YouTube and StoryCorps, is right now available on our YouTube channel, Wow Presents.
For free.
For free.
What's it called again?
Stonewall Out Loud.
Stonewall Out Loud.
Cheaper than the price of a latte.
And it's the
And in
voices of gay.
It's the original voices of the people who were in the Stonewall riots. This was the first documentary ever made about Stonewall 20 years after the incident. And we have taken this radio documentary by David Isay, this original radio documentary, and brought in young LGBTQ actors and YouTube makers, and they lip sync the interviews.
It's a lip sync documentary, and it is incredibly moving. And it's called
Stonewall Out Loud.
on YouTube. Watch it.
All right. When we come back, we'll reveal the number one things that make us go, wow. You're listening to the Wow Report on Radio Andy.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. It's time for the number one.
Number one.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, I love it when we do that.
You have to, for those of you
I love
listening,
it.
Give us the headline. Give us the headline.
put on, what are they called? Blinders.
Are those brassieres?
These are, they could be brassieres for small breasted
I'm
people.
Arlene Dahl. You get to be Bennett Cerf.
I want to.
You're
Okay.
Dorothy Kilgallen.
Yes.
All righty, right. Hey, Blake, are you going to chase?
And Fenton.
Okay, can
What's
you
my
see me?
line?
Okay, take a.
It's
the
would our mystery
Oreo-
guest please sign in?
Wait, for those of you on the radio, what we're doing is we're putting blindfolds on.
Because there must
you.
be new flavors of Oreos
Oreo
that
taste
you want to see.
test.
Because I believe that if you don't see what they're telling you it tastes like, it doesn't taste like it. But we'll see.
Exactly, and I feel that if you actually saw these Oreo cookies, you'd be able to guess the flavor. Hence the blindfold.
Yes.
Okay, put your hand in the thing. Or just
And
excuse fingers.
Thank you. I just want to let you know that I have a new trainer and he's making me photograph all my food. So once this is done, I need to photograph.
Oh wait, I saw
this.
something. There's a picture on it, isn't there?
Well,
There's a picture on the Oreo.
There is. I'm making Blake put on his blindfold. All right, in your own time, take a bite. Thank you. Should we do the flavor reveal as we go?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Wait, are there different flavors? Are there different?
Exactly. We're going to do this 3 times.
Okay, wait. This one, I believe that there's a hint of sugar.
I think it's fruity.
Oh, is that fruit?
Yep. I think it's tutti frutti. It's rainbow. It's tutti frutti. It's gay pride Oreo.
Oh.
You ready? Okay.
And there's a picture of a homosexual on it?
No, this is.
It just tastes like a vanilla one to me.
It's actually red velvet cake with green cheese filling.
What the hell does?
Well,
red
wait, what does
velvet
it look
cake
like? Can
taste
I see? Can I see?
You got the vanilla. You got the cream, Blake, and I got the red.
There you go.
I don't understand how a red cake
Oh
tastes
no!
like.
There's one with the picture on it.
Oh,
though,
I
isn't
just
there?
ate it. I'm sorry. I just ate the sample. Here you go. There you go.
Are we getting something new?
No,
All right.
no,
Yeah.
no,
You
no.
ready
I
for
just
the
want-
next
I just
one?
want the
Okay.
next one.
Blindfolds back on.
I'm keeping them on.
Okay.
But is this like,
If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
but is this like perfume samples where like by the third one your palate is like overwhelmed and you can't
find
follow
out,
it.
won't we? Talk about it. Don't. What are you feeling?
Okay, I'm tasting sugar.
It's an Oreo cookie.
This is not fruit based. This is, I want to say like salted caramel, but I don't really taste anything that strong. But I kind of want to say,
Like-
or maybe is it coffee-ish?
Graham crackery.
That could be.
All right, guys. This is s'mores Oreo.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, s'mores, coffee. Okay.
Good job. Good job. Okay,
These
the
are
last
the-
one. Save the best till last.
More great radio
You
here.
ready?
In the Rapport. Yep.
Okay. I'm
Wait, can I
handing
just
out
say
the
that these-
cookies. I'm handing out the cookies.
Wait, can I just say that these blindfolds are really hot?
Thanks, man.
I think we should- this is the one, James, with the illustration on.
It is okay, and it's got a
Maybe you can feel it.
a rice patty farmer is what I'm feeling.
What are you tasting when you put it in your mouth?
I taste sugar.
Does the filling feel a normal consistency?
Huh.
It tastes the same to me.
Make a guess, then.
I'm going to say that it's,
James has removed his blindfold.
I don't know. I think my taste buds are shot.
This is the Oreo Marshmallow Moon. And it's
Oh,
for
it's
the
for the
50th
moon.
anniversary of the moon landings.
And it's got a picture of the moon on it.
It's kind of marshmallow-ish.
Now that you know. Okay, I've got to take a picture of the cookies for my trainer.
Well, thanks for tuning into the Wow Report on Radio Andy Sirius XM. Listen to previous episodes on our YouTube channel, Wow Presents. We'll see you the same time, same place next week. Until then, go out and do something that makes the world go
wow.